Welcome back, everybody, to another episode, and we are talking about an incredible mind hack that requires you to essentially do nothing that will allow you to get the outcomes in life that you are looking for. And I practice this every single day. I try to make a habit of it. And why I like this method so much is because it is supported by so much research and studies and brain scans. And not only that, but it is a direct opposition to the term toxic positivity. I know a lot of people don't like that term. You might not like that term. I know people in my life who don't like that term. People hate being told, hey, just be positive. Why can't you just be happy? Just be positive. Because the world we live in is not conducive to that. A lot of people have a lot of stressors like finance and health. So this is the opposite of toxic positivity, and it's a great method, and we'll break it down. And to start us off, I'm going to share this clip because I think it's so powerful. And whoops, I just lost myself there. Let me go ahead and just make sure that I float on the top for those that want to see my face. So here we're going to play this clip. Listen to what this guy says, Trevor Moawad. He is an expert. He gets hired by all the biggest celebrities, all the biggest sports teams, athletes to monitor their thoughts because guess what? They have millions of people that follow them, and their thoughts are very important. So listen to what he has to say, and we'll break it down.
Well, we started to look at the externalization. Well, if somebody says something out loud, it's 10 times more powerful than if they think it. And then as we started to study the data, particularly data that was just reinforced by Christine Porath from Georgetown and Harvard, that negativity is a multiple of 4 to 7 times more powerful than positivity. So think about that. If I say something out loud, it's 10x. If it's negative, it's 4 to 7 times more powerful. So when I say negative things out loud, it's 40 to 70 times more likely that that will happen or cause a result that won't be good for me than if I just didn't say anything.
Okay, so very profound. So what he says is in a study by Christine Porath of Georgetown, she went on to discover that while positive thoughts spoken out loud carry 10 times more power than those left as thoughts, and I'm not saying to say anything out loud positively at this moment, okay? Right now, what we are trying to say is to eliminate saying negative things out loud. And she was surprised to find that negativity acts as a multiplier of 4 to 7 times to be exact, meaning that when we choose to speak negative thoughts out loud, we are actually increasing the probability of an outcome different from what we want by 40 to 70 times. Wow, that's powerful. And I'm going to give you some real world examples of what she means that is going to cement this into your brain. So, first, I'm going to share an interview of a baseball player. His name was Billy Buckner. He was an 8-time Golden Glove, so he was an incredible baseball player. And this is 12 days before the World Series, the biggest game of his life. This is 12 days before. Listen to what he says in an interview.
The dreams are that you're going to have a great series and win, and the nightmares are that you're going to let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs.
So he says the nightmare is that you're going to let the winning run go through a ground ball. Let's see what happens.
Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
And there you have it. 1986 World Series, Golden Glove, 8-time, which means he's very good at getting ground balls. He lets the winning run go through his legs, and they lose the World Series. Now, because he said it out loud, did that mean that was 100% guaranteed going to happen? No, but it increased the likelihood that it would happen. And when you're in that moment, game's tied, and you have that opportunity to make that play, that doubt that you've already arisen verbally creeps into your head. Here's another player, Pistol Pete Maravich, an incredible basketball player. In an interview in 1974 by Beaver County Times, he said out loud, I don't want to play 10 years in the NBA and die of a heart attack at 40. Well, sad to say that that's exactly what happened. He played basketball for 10 more years and then died of a heart attack at the age of 40. Again, just because he said it doesn't mean it was going to happen, but it increased the likelihood of it going to happen. And last, here we have a clip of the Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl 51. The Falcons were winning this game 28-3. And let's listen to what the wide receivers have to say during the game.
Nothing like this. It's Tom Brady, though. I know. I'm never comfortable.
So here they say, it's Tom Brady. I'm not comfortable with this lead. They're up 25 points in the Super Bowl. It has never happened where a team has come back to win, but they're still on the sideline whooping the Patriots' butt, and they're still in doubt saying, hey, it's Tom Brady. He could probably beat us. And what ended up happening? It's exactly right. They blew a 25-point lead and won the game. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go back to first principles. If you've ever heard of the acronym KISS, it means keep it simple, stupid. And we have to operate on our foundational layer. And this is one of the most powerful foundations, one of the most powerful principles that requires you to do nothing other than monitor your thoughts and just make sure that you don't say anything negative out loud. And I know it's easy to slip up, and I know we have a lot of phrases. Here's just some of the common phrases that we have got to avoid saying out loud. I suck at life. I can't do anything right. There is nothing special about me. I'll never find someone to love me. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Bad things always happen to me. Why me? Why do I always get screwed and get the short end of the stick? Story of my life. Literally, as I'm saying these things out loud, I can already feel my heart and my body start to emotionally embrace it as if it was true. And this is what we have got to stop doing. We have got to stop saying these things out loud, and that is all I'm saying. No toxic positivity. Just monitor yourself and don't allow this to be said out loud. Why? This diagram does a great illustration. So imagine this line right here is all these dots on this line are infinite potential possibility of thoughts. Okay, billions and trillions of thoughts, okay? And on the right side are the best positive thought, and on the left is the worst positive thought. What we have to understand, right? Keep it simple, stupid. You have to understand from first principles that our brains only function. Its primary function is to keep you alive. And the best way it can ensure your survival by keeping you alive is predicting or thinking of the worst possible outcomes that can happen and then providing a solution to it so that if in the small 0.11% chance that that does happen, you've come up with a plan to survive it. And so what we are doing constantly is we are thinking of the worst possible outcome. What happens if my house gets on fire? What happens if I get in a car accident? What happens if my spouse cheats on me? What happens if I try to do a backflip and I snap my neck and I'm a quadriplegic? And although we are trying to ensure our survival, the likelihood of those happening are small. And when we verbalize it out loud, it's increasing the likelihood, the percentage probability that it could happen by 40 to 70%. And so what we need to focus on doing and creating a habit of is first, not saying negative things out loud, but thinking of the possible best outcomes. I mean, you can do an experiment on yourself right now. If I were to ask you, think of the best things that could happen to you today, right now, you would think I could win the lottery, I could meet the love of my life, I could get that job I always wanted. It would be a fairly small list, and you wouldn't really internalize it, right? We've all heard that you have a higher chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. So we would say it, but we wouldn't internalize it. If I were to ask right now, what are the worst things that could happen to you today? You would probably be able to come up with an infinite list. I could get in a car accident, my house could burn down, my wife could cheat on me, my dog could die, I could lose all my money in the stock market. And not only could you come up with a longer list of worst outcomes, but you would start to emotionally embrace it as if it was true, just like I started feeling when I was reading these off. Because here's the deal. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And your energy is what you create. So again, let's focus on this mind hack. Let's stop saying things out loud. Let's go to first principles, okay? And let's just focus on this week by not saying things that are negative out loud. And what I do is I imagine myself as a knight in front of a castle. My brain's a castle. And I just try and, wax on and wax off negative thoughts from entering my brain. And if I ever do say something negative out loud, I imagine a glass pane. In my brain, I imagine this. I'm not kidding. And I imagine the glass pane with the negative word that I just said, and then I imagine the glass pane shattering like this with the negative outcome I said, and then I just replace a out loud verbal cue that's the opposite of what I said. So if I said something like, this always happens to me, I'll sit there and go, no, it doesn't. I'll imagine that glass pane shattered my brain. I'll say something opposite of it always happens to me. You know what? I'm going to do better. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to create what I want. And so this is a mind hack. There are so many authors that have written about it. The more that we do brain scans and human psychology experience, the more we find out how powerful our thoughts are and how powerful verbalizing our thoughts are. So I hope that helped. Please, this week, try and not say anything negative out loud, and let me know how you felt and what the outcomes were. All right, cheers.